Hello YouTube, this is Soundwave2 coming at you with a deck tech profile for my build of Steel Swarms that I affectionately call SynchroSwarms. Alright, now my build is going to be very different from the builds you're going to see or that you have seen on YouTube already. Alright, mainly the main difference between mine is that nowhere in my deck are you going to find a Steel Swarm Scout. Um, that's mainly because I find it to be so restrictive. Um, that it's it's too crippled to really interact with today's meta. I mean, while I love Steel Swarms, the deck itself already is too slow to really hurt the meta where it needs to. Like, um, we can't handle, like, even this deck the way it is can't really handle Fire Fist as aggressively as I'd like, where you have to have monsters on the field that are going to overrun them, and this deck can't do it. Same for Boojins. Um, same for a lot of other decks. Like the deck already, I mean, is inconsistent, and that's just being honest. Um, so running Scout in any way, shape, or form, you're already hindering yourself from even coming close to tier 3, tier 4, even tier 5 decks because you're trying to interact with them on a level that Scout is so ill-equipped to do. Um, so mainly, I focus a lot on Steel Swarm Cell. You find a lot of comparisons to him being the Cyber Dragon of the Steel Swarm archetype. When there's a bit of variety. Cyber Dragon, I mean, there are reasons that Cyber Dragon works in some decks, and Cell works mainly for Steel Swarms, but um, there's a big difference between them. Cyber Dragon has a whole bunch of Cyber Dragon support that I personally enjoy. I mean, that stuff is ridiculous. But that's just the thing. Like there's so much that Cyber Dragon can do versus what Steel Storm Cell can do. Steel Storm Cell, we all know you can special summon when you control no monsters. Right? That's a big difference. Like that's the main difference between Cell and Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon, like you can open up even with Cyber Dragons, you can open up two Cyber Dragon and like no power bond, and you're sitting there like play a monster, and you know so you're sitting there like do something, please, I need to react. Cell, your opponent can set 2 or 3 back row, and you can be like, okay, special cell, normal summon, normal summon Jirastag, normal summon Moth. I mean, that's big. I mean, in terms of just of the Monarch playstyle, that's big. All right, that's huge. Um, so I mean, I've spent a lot of time, working with Steel Storms. I've tried so many different deck ideas. For a while, starting out, I tried Pure. I mean, I did all the really stupid things that you see a lot of players doing on YouTube. I ran Mantis because, oh man, Mantis and Caller. You go Caller, first turn Caller, second turn Mantis. You get 2 callers on the field, and you can Xyz into a rank 4. Okay, I mean, playing against some decks now that have been neutered by the ban list. Um, that's great. I mean, I was playing a friend who's playing windups, and with all of the limitations that he had gone through, that his deck has suffered, I beat him using Mantis because you know that's great. It's fine, sure. Um, I ran Mantis. I tried going the Cockastag route. That big mistake. I tried throwing in Hercules. Did nothing. Okay, I've tried all that stuff. All right. So far, this is the best. I mean, just going for straight Steel Swarms, just looking at the Steel Swarm archetype, my deck highlights the best that the archetype has to offer aggressively. All right. I mean, we got the two Moth. I mean, two Moth is fantastic. You got three Jirastag, fantastic. That's about it as far as tributes go. All right. And a lot of people think that's Sting is great. Sting is okay. He's a bit mediocre, really, because fusions and synchros really aren't making that big a difference. Like, sure, I run synchros, But a lot of time these days, you're seeing synchros in the way of Leo, Star Eater, synchros that don't care. Uh, Stardust Spark Dragon, things that don't care about destruction. They're like, oh, you're gonna destroy me, whatever. So that's that. All right, my deck highlights the best of the Steel Swarm archetype. That being said, it also incorporates a lot of the L Swarm archetype. So I take callers, I take callers, take casters, I take Caracans, things that we can splash because and I still I run this issue all the time. Uh, People consider Evil Swarms and Steel Swarms to be unrelated archetypes, but no one understands that uh, Steel Swarms are the sub archetype of the Evil Swarms. Also, you'll find there's a small group of people that spell that say uh, that say things are Eve, like EVEI. Um, I mean, really, is that how you spell evil? Is that how you spell steel? You know, STEEI? Huh? Who knew? Um, Ignore those people. Prove them wrong. I mean, if you need official proof, if you go to the Yu-Gi-Oh to the Konami Yu-Gi-Oh blog and look up Evil Swarm Ixies, and then hit Control F for Steel Swarm, they mention that right there, right in the blog, that that the Evil Swarm Ixies, Ophion, Bahamut, they can use Steel Swarm monsters as Ixies materials because they're L Swarms. All right. Okay, that's enough of a tangent. We're gonna go into the main deck. Okay, and talk about a lot of my choices. All right. So let's start off with the start here. Dark Grepher. Dark Grepher I like because A is level 4. A level 4. B dark. C, both his effects work well, differently but well. Okay. Um, you can set up synchro plays by getting at your high level guys by, say, you open Grepher and Geostag and you have no way of getting Geostag out reliably at the time. You can pitch him special summon Grepher. All right. Say you open Dark Grepher, Geostag, and Mass Chameleon. Okay, you can set up a turn 8 or a turn 1 level 8 synchro right there. Or you can set up a turn 2 level 11 synchro. Like the fact that he just provides just that right there instantly to me makes him a 2 of in the deck. Not 3 and not 1. I mean, I want to have him reliably, and not have to 3 is too much, 1 is too few, 2 for Dark Grepher is the right number. Run 3 caster, your 3 Evil Swarm caster, because of that normal summon. That additional normal summon can make games. There's nothing more that this deck does more aggressively than normal summon. All right, my favorite combo in the deck is Steel Swarm Cell, Evil Swarm caster, uh, Steel Swarm Moth, Steel Swarm Juris deck. That play is so aggressive. My second favorite combo doesn't happen all too often if I've set up my graveyard right. Is to go special summon Cell, normal summon Karakan, do my graveyard effect, get my caster, normal summon for a Jira Stagger, tribute Cell for a Jira Stagger off. That's great. Okay, I mean that is fantastic. I mean, he provides something for us that we need, a normal summon, which actually is another thing that people don't realize, but we'll talk about that later, involving a very popular, a current popular Ixies. All right. Evil Swarm Karakan. A lot of people don't run this either. I mean, at the time when it was new, it's expensive. I mean, great, that's fine. I mean, that happens. I mean, sure, there are some things I'd like to use that are currently expensive. Um, a lot of people thought that you could use, or a lot of people. I mean, before this, I mean, and I was with it because it was the best option we had at the time. Recurring Nightmare. Now, these Recurring Nightmare and Evil Storm Karakan are a bit different. They do different things, but Karakan is the better card. Mainly because Karakan gives you a monster back in your hand and an additional normal summon. Okay, and who cares what you banish? I mean, the graveyard is your tool. You're dumping out the waste to get your resources back. Okay, so who cares? All right, that banish is irregardless. You can banish anything really. The normal summon is just another thing. It's an enabler. It enables our plays. That's great. We want stuff like that. We want to be as aggressive as possible with the new meta. So that's great. That normal summon, that's going to make plays for us. All right. Next is Mass Chameleon. Mass Chameleon, when it first came out, I really, people were saying, oh, hey, this could be good in Steel Swarms. And I looked at it and I was like, meh. And then one day I decided to try it out. And what did I do? I did something. I went like, did this. And one turn, like I had the setup where I could go. I already had monsters to play. And normal summon this. Got back a caller, and I went like I think some level 8 and Ophion. Like I had it locked out to where they could not like. I think it was at the time I was running what's his name something Blader level 8 locks out normal summons for level 5 or higher monsters. So I had that out and I just destroyed this guy. And right there I knew that Mass Command was going to bring some new blood to Steel Swarms. It still hasn't quite caught on. I've only seen one or two with decks like this. Oh, and I think of note, Mass Chameleon can use Steel Swarm Cell to make level 5 synchros because of a handy little line. Let's go over here. All right. Right here, okay, you put one monster with a 0 defense. All right. Its effects are negated. Now, I originally thought that Steel Swarm Cell, I thought that this was a condition that stated like what is it? Majestic Dragon has a similar thing to where it can't be used. Okay, so I thought it was the same, but apparently it's a continuous effect. So keep that in mind. That's good. All right. Okay. So I mean, I mean, what he offers to the deck is synchros. 5, 8, 11, 10. A lot of variety for today's meta, and a lot of good. And actually, as far as the extra deck goes in terms of synchros, a lot of good meta call answers. I do run 2 Maxi because we don't have a lot of card. We don't have any reliable card draw. I could run Allure of Darkness, but um, I don't really want to. I mean, Karakan's fine for a banish cost, but I mean, if we open up to where, I mean, already on on DN, you run into issues where like you'll draw like 3 traps, 2 spells, and a Jirastag. You play Dark Allure, you draw into a spell and a trap, and you're like, great, I just wasted my hand. I'm gonna get rolled. So I don't feel like it's the best option for us. Like Maxi is more reliable. Maxi stops plays. It kills. It can in certain decks kill their momentum. Uh, I mean, sure, it's easy to play around. Oh, normal summon. Oh, you're gonna special. Okay, I'm just gonna stop right there. And okay, then fine. You've wasted a max C, but you've also slowed them down. So that's why it's in here over like. That's why it's main decked over Veiler. All right. Caller. I love Caller. All right. I'm not gonna make any sort of excuses. Any sort of. I love Caller. Caller is the Swiss Army knife in terms of board advantage. All right. Normally in a tribute summon, you lose board advantage. You're evening out, I should say. You're going 1-4-1. Okay. You're going Steel Swarm Cell, Jirastag. Okay. You're maintaining it. Caller puts you one ahead. There's also a thing you can when you stack your triggers because Caller is a trigger effect and your tribute monsters here are also trigger. They're optional trigger, I should say. Okay. You can stack them. All right. Now, a lot of people will tell you the targeting does occur on, when he's summoned, but in terms of effect resolution, all right, they have to respond to caller first. If you stack your triggers like that, they have to respond to caller first. All right, my videos here, it's almost I'm using a screencast-o-matic, and I'm using the free version. So give me 1 second. It's about to cut out. This is gonna be a 2-parter, maybe 3. I don't know.